So my Dexcom sensor is about to expire and it's been giving me a little bit of weird errors. It expires in less than an hour. It's telling me I'm 124 with no arrow showing. So for that reason, I will do another manual blood sugar check for you guys. You guys know a couple videos ago I was telling you that it was kind of giving me errors on day 8. Well, after I recalibrated it, it started working again and it worked all the way through up to this point. So this is only my second Dexcom G6 sensor, so I'm hoping things improve as I go forward. I will be trying inserting on my arm today instead of my stomach, just to give it a little bit of variety and allow the scar tissue to heal up. So for now, I'm going to give you guys a manual blood sugar check, and also too, because I'm going to delay my lunch a little bit, and I just want to make sure if I don't have to eat a little snack to keep my blood sugar up, that I won't have to worry. So, we shall do the manual blood sugar check. And I am 134. Not bad at all. I will take it. I don't think I feel like I have to eat anything. I'll only be delaying my lunch for about an hour and a half to 2 hours, so I will gladly take a blood sugar of 134. So Dexcom says I am at 124, so actually it is accurate, but there's no arrow. So kind of nice to know that it's pretty much accurate right up to the day, pretty much exact minute of the expiration time. Hi everyone, it's Maddie. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to day 27 of Diabetes Awareness Month, November 27th, 2018. And today we're going to go briefly and show you what basic supplies I use every day to manage my type 1 diabetes. Again, this is more for those of you who are newly diagnosed or are curious to kind of what I carry with me regularly to make sure I'm prepared for anything that can arise dealing with type 1 diabetes. Those of you that do have type 1 diabetes know that any situation can arise. And also too, those of you that are my non-diabetic viewers and are curious about kind of what I carry around with me, you'll get a better idea of what some of the diabetic tools we use that go around, so that you can kind of know what to look for maybe in a public setting if you see a certain device or a certain type of tool that you know that it's nothing scary. It's just something we have to carry with us at all times. So question 27 is, what types of basic supplies do you have to use every day to manage your diabetes? Now, the main thing as a type 1 diabetic is we always have to carry insulin with us. And you guys have seen my insulin. I'm pulling things out of my bag as I go here, so please don't mind the shuffling. But this is the insulin I take with my meals. Make sure that you always have enough in here. I always try to plan around to make sure I have enough with me. This is plenty. And I always carry my night insulin with me too. This I only inject once a day at about 10:30 p.m. right before I go to sleep. But I always carry it with me because heaven forbid if I'm out and about later on in the evening, or I go to a little bit of like a family gathering or something, or I'm in my car and my car breaks down and I can't get home, I make sure I have this with me so that I can give this at the appropriate time. There's actually a special slot in my diabetes bag, which I will do a video for you guys later, how I organize my stuff in my bag. But I have the cap in like a little bit of a slot, so all I have to do at night is pull it out and it's ready to go. The other one that I use for my meals just kind of sits loosely in there. So that's the main thing we better have is insulin. Because insulin is our lifeline, because as a type 1 diabetic, we do not produce enough insulin to control blood sugar, or we do not produce insulin at all. So therefore, we need that in order for us to consume carbs and to keep our blood sugars out of dangerously high levels. The next thing I can think of that if you better have insulin, you better have, if you're on multiple daily injections like me, you better have needles or syringes. You need these in order to get the insulin from the pen or the syringe or the syringe body into your body. You need a needle to put inside you so that the insulin can be put underneath your skin and can go to your bloodstream and do its job. So always carry plenty of these around. I always carry double the amount that I would need for a typical day. So if typically I need 4 injections a day, I always make sure I carry 8 needles with me, because sometimes these needles are manufactured wrong or they have an error. I've had some bent needles already. I will be contacting my diabetes supplier and noting them that some of the needles were bent underneath and they could not be inserted into pens, so that I will notify them about. The next thing that I keep with me are plenty of alcohol swabs. These you use to clean your finger or clean a injection site. if you're on the go, or if you're like me and also use a continuous glucose monitor. When I go to change my sensor out in the next hour, I have to wipe the new site down to make sure that when I insert a needle, that the needle is going into clean skin, so that I don't give myself an infection if there is any type of bacteria or dirt or contaminants on my skin. And the final thing I carry with me in this little part, in this little bag anyways, this little mesh little pouch, I always carry spare batteries. What are these for? Well, these are for another thing I have to carry with me was my blood glucose meter. I do have a Dexcom G6 where I can make treatment decisions. However, I've only been using it for 20 days, and I'm still not quite comfortable letting it make my treatment decisions. I have let it make some treatment decisions for me when I haven't had my meter, and it's done well. And when I've tested with my meter, it's been pretty spot on. But also, too, I better carry this with me just in case, like, my Dexcom right now is not quite working the way it should, and it's ready to expire. It get a little funky, so I better make sure I have something that I can always know, have the availability to test what my blood sugar is at. So I carry that with me in a little pouch. And to test your blood sugar, you have to have a few other tools to go with you. So you better have plenty of test strips. You use these once. These are what the new ones look like. You use them once, and once they've been used, as you can see, this was the one I tested for you guys earlier. You can see the little testing part is filled up with blood. Now this is a used test strip. It no longer can be used, but you put one of these in the meter at a time, and it takes one sample of blood and tells you which blood sugar's at. And in order to get the blood sample, you better have a lancing device. I do have a genteel lancing device. I will do a video on that, but right now I need to clean it, and I haven't had the time, so I've been using my old, what we call prickers. That's kind of our little bit of an informal term we use. And this is what we use to poke our finger with. We simply cock the device, put it up against your finger, and push the button, and it'll lance our fingers. And we can keep recocking it with the same lancet, but I try to change mine out a few times a day, because if I don't, I can end up getting really bad scarring on my fingers. So you always make sure you have clean lancets with you. So that's what the lancet looks like. This is a tiny little needle, and you can eject this out and dispose of this in a biohazards container. So I always make sure I have my little lancing device along with my genteel, so I have an option of which lancing device I want to use to poke my finger, or sometimes I use the palm of my hand for readings. Those will get the same readings, and it's not as painful, so I carry that with me. And I'll show you what a new lancet looks like. They look like this. You literally pull this part off, or you stick it in the lancing device, and then this part is the actual lancet, and this part here you pull off. And when you're done, you actually keep this part, and you use this to hold the old lancet, and that protects the needle from poking anybody, and then you can dispose of it in a biohazard container. Now, the next few things that I keep with me is stuff that maybe somebody may or may not keep with them. I do, just because I can fit it in my bag, because I have a specific diabetes bag that holds everything from my daily supplies that are non-diabetes related to all my diabetic supplies I could use with me when I'm on the go. So I carry with me control solution for my meter. I'm going to do a whole video on the purpose of this. This is very important to me. This allows me to test. I use this once when I open a new vial of test strips to make sure that the test strips are working right, and it also allows me to see at the same time if my meter is working correct. If I drop my meter, or I feel like my meter may or may not be damaged, I use this too to make sure it's working right, because we do not want inaccurate meters, because this is pretty much a sole lifeline for me to make treatment decisions. Along with my Dexcom G6, I need those to make accurate dosing decisions, because if my blood sugar is a little low, I might not want to take as much insulin, or I might want to eat a little something. But if my blood sugar is higher, I might want to take more insulin and kind of watch the amount of foods I'm putting in my body, or reduce my carbs at a certain meal to kind of allow that blood sugar to come down. And if that is reading inaccurate when it shouldn't be, I can't make those proper decisions, and it could cause problems in the future. So we got to make sure that's working right. And I always carry my ketone test strips. Again, I have a special spot for these in my bag. They fit nicely. I only use these if my blood sugar is above 200. Some people test if their blood sugar is above 250, but I personally do 200. I did do a video all on ketones. I believe that was day 11 of Diabetes Awareness Month, so if you want to know more about ketones, go check out that video. But I will explain again, the reason why I test my blood sugar at 200 is because when I had a blood sugar that was 222 or 220, I had trace ketones. So ketones for me show up a little bit earlier than maybe somebody else, so no matter what, if my blood sugar is at or above 200, I will test for ketones, just as a peace of mind for me. I don't use these a whole heck of a lot because I keep my blood sugar always usually between the, or lower than 200 most of the time, so I really don't have to worry about using a ton of these, but I think I have about 40 or 30 some of these left, so I have most of this vial left. I will have to replace this vial in April because after 6 months these things do, the chemicals in them and the reagents that detect ketones do expire, so these are pretty cheap anyways, so I will replace those in April, but I always carry these with me. And also, too, sometimes you don't know if your insulin's going bad. This is a good way to know, too, if you just put insulin in your body and you're not figuring out why your blood sugar's not coming down. If you're using ketones, it's a good idea. It's a good indicator for you that you might have to, for those of you that use pumps, change your pump site or change your insulin out, or inject in a different area without scar tissue to make sure the insulin's going into your bloodstream. So these are also good indicators for that, too. Besides going into indicating if your blood sugar is so high that you may or may not go into diabetic ketoacidosis. Now, the final main thing that I keep with me at all times in my diabetes supplies is low blood sugar treatments. So low blood sugar treatments allow me to bring my blood sugar back up when it's below a certain level. I usually start treating my blood sugars at anything at 75 or lower, just because once you're at 75, it won't take you long to get below 70. So I carry a variety of different treatments that I have some options for what I want to use. I carry fruit snacks. I would probably use these more for a severe low just because there's almost 20 grams of carbs per pack of these, so I probably wouldn't use these unless my blood sugar was like in the 50s or the 60s. Juice I could use actually at any time because it's nice that I could drink half of it if my blood sugar's in like the mid 70s, just to bump it up into the 80s or 90s until I can get some food in me, more hard food. I always carry a pack of Skittles. Again, these are nicer too. They do bump your blood sugar up, but they're a little bit slower on me at least, so I might take a half a pack of these if my blood sugar's running low, or if my Dexcom says I'm 90 and dropping. And I know I'm not going to be eating for another couple hours, like make a big meal, so I might eat a whole pack of these because they will bump your blood sugar up without driving them too high. There's only about 14 carbs in these. And then the last type of sugar treatment I take with me is glucose tabs. These are the fastest acting. I might take 1 or 2 of these, again, if my blood sugar is a little low before a meal, or if my blood sugar is super duper low, I think it's going to be dropping, I might take a few of these, because these act the quickest on your body. They will, it's literally just a pure sugar is what all these are in a tablet form, and you literally chew these up, swallow them, and you'll get your blood sugar back up. I do use the Walmart brand. I am interested in trying the Walgreens brand because I heard they're not as chalky. These don't taste bad to me, but they do leave a chalky, like filmy, kind of like sandy kind of texture in your mouth, and I heard that the Walgreens brand doesn't really do that, so I'm curious to try the Walgreens brand. And along with the low blood sugar treatment snacks, I always carry my Glucagon with me. I did a whole video on Glucagon. I'm not sure what day that was, but it is in my Diabetes Awareness Month series video, so go check that out. I plan on doing a few more videos on Glucagon for you guys later on, but this, if you guys don't know what this is, it is basically an injection that is giving into the muscle if I were to pass out or become so unruly or uncooperative from low blood sugars that I cannot eat or swallow. So this is a quick way for my body to get glucose it needs. It actually is a hormone that is injected that tells your liver to dump sugar into your bloodstream. So all type 1 diabetics carry these around, and then they have certain people that they are near around, such as a mom, a dad, a sibling, or whatnot, or a significant other that knows how to administer this in a time of crisis or at a time of emergency. So I always carry this with me, and my people that know how to administer this to me have my permission 100% to rip through my bag and get this if I were to pass out my low blood sugar. So I believe that is everything that I carry with me regularly. Oh, and including my Dexcom receiver, but that is charging over there, so I'll leave that be. And another additional thing I carry with me is my medical ID. I won't show it up too close to you guys just because it does have personal information, but I will do a whole video on the importance of medical IDs too for you guys, and maybe show you guys where I got this one specifically, and if I plan on getting a couple other forms of medical IDs in the future. I also carry with me in my low blood sugar bag, I always carry with me emergency medical card that has information about me, my blood type, height, weight, parents, phone number to contact, which insulins I take, so on and so forth, and then I do have type 1 diabetes, so I always carry that with me too. My medical ID also says that too, that I have type 1 diabetes, I am insulin dependent, and I am allergic to codeine, which if you guys don't know, it's something they add to painkillers. I'll do a story on that, but basically I found out that codeine makes my heart beat and pound really fast, almost like I'm having a heart attack, and I get the arm pain symptoms, and I feel like I literally get heart attack symptoms. So they, when I had my oral surgery, they told me a few years ago to stop taking it and that you're probably allergic to the codeine in it. So I'll never take codeine in my life again just because I had a bad experience with that once and I don't need it again. But anyways, I think this sums up today's video of all the basic supplies that I carry with me at all times to make sure that I'm ready and prepared for any diabetes related situations. So with that being said, this wraps up today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Turn on the little notification bell down in the lower right hand corner so you never miss when something new gets uploaded from me. Remember, 100 subscribers. Once I reach that level, I will give you guys my full diagnosis story here on YouTube, so look forward to that. And until tomorrow's video, which will be day 28 of Diabetes Awareness Month, take care, God bless, be kind, spread positivity, and be thankful. Bye, everybody.